Welcome back. We started solving this question in the previous video. We used some of the values of x and y given to us in the table to find the values of p and q. We had p as 2 and q as minus 12. Then we substituted the values of p and q into this relation, and we had y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. We then used the relation y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 to find the missing y values in this table. So we completed this table for the relation y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. In this video, we are going to use the values of x and y in the table we completed in the previous video to draw the graph of the relation y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. Then we will use the graph to answer the D part of the question. So let's begin by drawing the graph of the relation y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. This is our graph sheet, and this is the set of x and y values we had in the previous video. So we have the x values here, we have the y values here. And these values are for the relation y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. The scale we are going to use is 2 centimeters to 1 unit on the x-axis and 2 centimeters to 5 units on the y-axis. In the video on choosing the best position for the x and y-axis on the graph sheet, which is the video number 17 in this playlist, we learned that when choosing the position for the x and y-axis, you consider the scale and the set of x and y values you are going to plot, and you choose the x and y axis in such a way that you can plot all those points on the graph sheet. We have learned how to do that already. So if you want more information about choosing the best position for the x and y axis, watch the video number 17 in this playlist. By considering the x and y values that I have, I'll choose this horizontal measure grid line as my x-axis, and I'll choose this vertical measure grid line as my y-axis. They meet at this point, so that will be the origin. The scale on the x-axis is 2 centimeters to 1 unit. You have minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. You have 0 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the y-axis, the scale is 2 centimeters to 5 units. So I'll have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 on the positive side. Then on the negative side, I have minus 5, minus 10, minus 15, minus 20, minus 25. We can now plot our points. The first point is minus 3, 21. So minus 3 on the x-axis and 21 on the y-axis. We have that point here. The next one is minus 2, 6. So minus 2 on the x-axis and 6 on the y-axis. We have the point here. The next one is minus 1, minus 5. Minus 1 on the x-axis, minus 5 on the y-axis. We have it here. The next one is 0, minus 12. So 0 on the x-axis, minus 12 on the y-axis. We have the point here. The next one is 1, minus 15. So 1 on the x-axis, minus 15 on the y-axis. We have that point here. The next one is 2, minus 14. 2 on the x-axis, minus 14 on the y-axis. We have it here. The next one is 3 minus 9. So 3 on the x-axis, minus 9 on the y-axis. We have the point here. The next one is 4, 0. So 4 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis. So to be on this point. Then the last one is 5, 13. 5 on the x-axis, 13 on the y-axis. So we have that point here. After plotting the points, you join them with your free hand to get the graph of the relation y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. We can now use this graph to answer the next part of the question. The next question is, find y when x is equal to 1.8. We have already learned how to use the graph of a quadratic function to find the value of y when x is given to you. We learned that in the video number 27 in this playlist. So if you want to learn more about how to find the value of y when the value of x is given to you using the graph of a quadratic function, watch the video number 27 in this playlist. In that video, we learned that in order to find the value of y when x is given to you, the first thing you have to do is to locate that x value on the x-axis. Here, we have been given that x is equal to 1.8. So you locate 1.8 on the x-axis. On the x-axis here, the scale we are using is 2 centimeters to 1 unit. It means that to get each minor division, I will divide 1 by 10. If you divide 1 by 10, you have 0.1. So on the x-axis, each minor division is 0.1. So to get 1.8, I will count 8 divisions from 1. So from 1, the first division will be 1.1, the second one will be 1.2, the third one will be 1.3, the fourth one will be 1.4, the fifth one will be 1.5, the sixth one will be 1.6, the seventh one will be 1.7, and the eighth one will be 1.8. So 1.8 will be 8 divisions from 1. After locating 1.8, you trace it to meet the curve. So you draw a vertical line from 1.8 to meet the curve. Then from where it meets the curve, you trace it to the y-axis. So from this point, you trace it to the y-axis and you read the value there. On my graph, the value here is minus 14.5. It means that from the graph, when x is equal to 1.8, y is equal to minus 14.5. Let's answer the last question. The last question is, use the graph to find the true set of the equation 2x squared minus 3x minus 17 is equal to 0. The quadratic equation whose graph we have drawn is y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. We can see that the quadratic expression in the function, which is 2x squared minus 5x minus 12, and the quadratic expression in the equation, which is 2x squared minus 3x minus 17, are different. We have learned how to find the solution of this quadratic equation by using the graph of the quadratic function we have drawn. We learned that in the video number 42 in this playlist. So if you want to learn how to use the graph of a quadratic function to find the solution of another quadratic equation, watch the video number 42 in this playlist. In that video, we learned that to find the solution of such a quadratic equation, the first thing you have to do is to compare the coefficient of the quadratic term in the function to the coefficient of the quadratic term in the equation. In the function, the quadratic term is 2x squared, so the coefficient of the quadratic term is 2. In the equation, the quadratic term is 2x squared, so the coefficient of the quadratic term is also 2. In the video on using the graph of a quadratic function to find the solution of another quadratic equation, which is the video number 42 in this playlist, we learned that if the coefficient of the quadratic term in the function is the same as the coefficient of the quadratic term in the equation, then we will subtract the equation from the function. So here, we are going to subtract the equation 2x squared minus 3x minus 17 from the function, which is y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. So I'm going to arrange the equation in the same way as the function has been arranged. So I'll bring the 0 on the left hand side, then I'll bring the quadratic term on the right hand side. We learned how to do this in the video number 42 in this playlist. So if you want more information, watch the video number 42 in this playlist. Okay, let's continue. So we are going to subtract the equation from the function. So you have the function minus the equation. You have the function minus the equation. So you have y minus 0, and y minus 0 will give us y. We have equal to here, so we bring the equal to sign. Then next we have 2x squared minus 2x squared. We know that 2x squared minus 2x squared will give us 0. Then we have minus 5x minus 3x. Minus 5x minus 3x will give us minus 5x plus 3x. Then we have minus 12 minus 17. Minus 12 minus minus 17 will give us minus 12 plus 17. Minus 5x plus 3x will give us minus 2x. Minus 12 plus 17 will give us 5. So after subtracting the equation from the function, we have a linear function, which is y is equal to minus 2x plus 5. In the video on using the graph of a quadratic function to find the solution of another quadratic equation, which is the video number 42 in this playlist, we learned that after subtracting the equation from the function, we will have a linear function. After getting that linear function, you have to draw the graph of the linear function on the same graph sheet as the quadratic function. So here, we are going to draw the graph of this linear function on this graph sheet. The linear function is y is equal to minus 2x plus 5. So we are going to draw the graph of minus 2x plus 5 on this graph sheet. We have learned how to draw the graph of a linear function on a graph sheet. We have learned that to draw the graph of a linear function on a graph sheet, you will need at least 2 points that fall on the line. So you assume a value for x, we substitute it into the function to get the y value. Then we will do the same thing to get another point. With those 2 points, we can plot them on a graph sheet and draw them to get the graph of the linear function. So you will do the same thing here. The first x value I'm going to assume is 0. So you are going to find y when x is equal to 0. When x is equal to 0, y will be equal to minus 2 times 0 plus 5. Minus 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 will give us 5. So it means that when x is 0, y is 5. So you have been able to find the first point. Let's find another point. I'm going to assume when x is equal to minus 1. Y will be equal to minus 2 times minus 1 plus 5. Minus 2 times minus 1 will give us 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. So when x is equal to minus 1, y will be equal to 7. So the next point is minus 1, 7. With these 2 points, we can plot them on the graph sheet and join them to get the graph of the linear function y is equal to minus 2x plus 5. The first point is 0, 5. So 0 on the x-axis and 5 on the y-axis, which will be at this point. And the next one we have is minus 1, 7. So minus 1 on the x-axis and 7 on the y-axis, which will be on this point. We will join these 2 points with a straight line to get the graph of the linear function y is equal to minus 2x plus 5. Now, we are going to use this graph to find the solution of 2x squared minus 3x minus 17 is equal to 0. Then we will write our answer as a truth set. In the video on using the graph of a quadratic function to find the solution of another quadratic equation, which is the video number 42 in this playlist, we learned that the straight line, which is the graph of the linear function, will intersect the curve, which is the graph of the quadratic function. And the solution of the equation will be the x-coordinates of these points of intersection. So from this graph sheet, the solution of this quadratic equation, 2x squared minus 3x minus 17 is equal to 0, will be the x-coordinates of the points of intersection of the straight line and the curve. The straight line and the curve intersect at this point and this point. So the solution of this equation will be the x-coordinates of these points. So to get the solution, we will trace the first point to the x-axis and we will trace the second point to the x-axis. When I trace the first point to the x-axis on my graph sheet, the x value I'm having there is minus 2.2. When I trace the second point to the x-axis on my graph sheet, the x value I'm having there is 3.6. So from the graph, the solution of this equation is x is equal to minus 2.2 or 3.6. But the question said we should write our answer as a truth set. So we can say that from the graph, the truth set of the equation 2x squared minus 3x minus 17 is equal to 0 is s is such that x is equal to minus 2.2 or 3.6. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel for more videos. In the next video, we are going to solve another likely examination question. Bye bye.